This video explores one of the foundational moments in American history, the drafting and ratification of the U.S. Constitution. We'll delve into the intense debates between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists, the conflict immortalized in the influential Federalist Papers. We'll also examine how these fierce debates led to the adoption of the Bill of Rights, ensuring protections for individual liberties and appeasing initial opposition to the new Constitution.
The Constitutional Convention of 1787 in Philadelphia aimed to revise the Articles of Confederation and create a structure for the new nation's government.
James Madison is considered the primary author of the Constitution. Other key figures included Ben Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, and George Washington.
A major conflict arose between the Virginia Plan, favoring large states with a bicameral legislature based on population, and the New Jersey Plan, advocating for equal state representation in a unicameral legislature. This led to the Great Compromise, which established a bicameral Congress with proportional representation in the House of Representatives and equal representation in the Senate.
Another critical issue was the Three-Fifths Compromise, a solution to whether slaves should be counted for representation and taxation. It determined that each enslaved person would be counted as 3/5 of a free person.
Ratification required 9 of 13 states' approval, with Federalists supporting a strong central government and Anti-Federalists fearing its dominance over states' rights. The promise of a Bill of Rights led to the Constitution's adoption. The Federalists and Anti-Federalists engaged in a profound dispute centered on the scope of federal power during the drafting and ratification of the U.S. Constitution from 1787 to 1789.
Federalists, including Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay, advocated for a strong central government, which would be crucial for national cohesion and economic stability. They penned the Federalist Papers, essays explaining the proposed Constitution's merits.
The Anti-Federalists, led by figures like Patrick Henry and George Mason, advocated for states' rights and believed the Constitution granted excessive power to the federal government, potentially undermining state authority and individual freedoms. Central to their debate was the ratification of the Constitution, which the Federalists supported, given its system of checks and balances.
On the other hand, Anti-Federalists opposed it, citing a lack of safeguards for individual rights. This led to the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments designed to protect civil liberties and limit governmental power.
This foundational dispute shaped the principle of federalism in the U.S. The Federalist Papers, a series of 85 essays penned by Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay under the pseudonym Publius, were crucial in ratifying the U.S. Constitution.
Published in New York newspapers between 1787 and 1788, these essays aimed to garner support for the Constitution, mainly from New York citizens who were skeptical about a strong central government.
Each essay addressed various aspects of the proposed Constitution, articulating the need for a federal government and explaining its structure, including the importance of checks and balances. This helped to alleviate fears about potential tyranny. The impact of the Federalist Papers was critical in influencing the national debate on the Constitution and swaying public opinion in favor of ratification.
Today, the Federalist Papers are revered for their historical significance and as foundational texts for interpreting the Constitution.
Legal scholars and historians frequently refer to these essays to understand the intentions of the Constitution's framers, underscoring their lasting influence in American political thought and constitutional interpretation. The Bill of Rights originated from the debates over the Constitution's ratification in 1787.
Initially, the Constitution focused on structuring a federal government and lacked explicit protections for individual liberties. Anti-Federalists feared potential governmental abuse of power.
A leading Federalist, James Madison, responded to these concerns by proposing amendments. Drawing from the English Bill of Rights and the Virginia Declaration of Rights, Madison drafted the amendments to protect personal freedoms. This move was a compromise and a strategic effort to facilitate the Constitution's ratification.
Most notable are the First, Fourth, and Sixth Amendments. The First Amendment enshrines freedoms such as speech, religion, and the press, crucial for democratic engagement. The Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable searches, upholding privacy and due process rights. The Sixth Amendment guarantees fair trial rights, ensuring judicial fairness.
12 amendments were approved in 1789 after congressional deliberation. Ultimately, 10 were ratified by the states on December 15, 1791.